Good day. Our topic for today is about charts, how to create charts, add a chart title, chart tools, create a pie chart, print a chart, and sort and filter, freeze panes, page setup, things like that, sheet tab, and page break. As for the chart, we can have a display of data graphically in a chart. Excel displays values in worksheets, such as cells as bars, lines, columns, pies, slices, and other shapes in the charts. The most common is actually a bar, which has different types of presentation. In a comparison, you can evaluate data in a comparison between the different values. So that would be a representation of the data in a chart. So to enter the data, you need just to have the data for example, let's say the sales for this year and that year and that year and this year for the particular part, and you wanted to find out which is the most expensive, which is the most things like to provide to be created. So these are the things that we need to understand. Having the data itself, we can simply insert a range, and then once we have selected what type of chart that we're going to use, we can select the columns, and then we can select the bar, the type of columns that we want to represent, and then there it is. We can simply insert, and then the output will be presented as a bar or as a chart, something like that. Now you can create a selection will appear on the spreadsheet. You can actually change the color, determining parts of it. You can actually change the legend, the y-axis value or the data labels, and the x-axis category. You can even change the title, of course. Well, if it is a report regarding something like a sales for the first quarter or a mid-year sales report, you can actually present it the way you want it. Color varies on the design that you prepare. This will help you determine from the x-axis how many the numbers or the figures, while the x-axis will determine the category, which one exceeded, which colors represent, and then the legend will tell you which product or which month or which type, simply telling you the whole picture with the numbers expressing on how they are being displayed. So practice selecting and unselecting chart will be very simple. You can actually choose whatever you want. Now on the chart tools, there are actually a lot of selection that you can choose. You can simply go to the design ribbon, allows you to change the chart type, the layout, the style by selecting an appropriate ribbon button. You can change your charts, layout, style, type, and etc. You can actually do a lot of things on how you make presentation well more prepared or much more better. You can actually go to the format tab, and then you can change the shape style, and then after which you can change the title. As I've said earlier, you wanted to change the chart title into a certain like a fiscal year comparison. Okay, so by simply clicking on that, you can select or delete the text, and then you can simply type the title that you prepare for the chart. Using a chart, it is easier said that the picture represents 1,000 words. So you don't need to put it in detail. The chart itself will tell you these are the things that changes that happens. And obviously, if there are certain taken in the data, you can actually change that too. You can simply make out of that, let's say, the whole graph or the whole bar graph will change, or the whole chart that you are preparing to will actually change if there are errors or corrections on the input of data. Now let's try to make a chart, which time it's now a pie chart. A pie chart would only good in determining the percentage of a particular groups of items or product in a particular month or year or weeks. That's how you present. It's actually the distribution of the certain values that is referred to the particular data. In this case, you can actually have an equipment, furniture. You can see the representation in the colors that equipment is the second biggest among the shares of the pie, while the troubles goes beyond the biggest, followed by equipment, and then followed by office supply. And the last thing is actually the furniture. So it's easier and simpler to determine which one costs more. So if you're planning for a budget next year, we should need at least cut some of the travel expenses, put it more on the furniture, or you can buy some more equipments. While referring to the office supply, depending on how you present, you can actually cut the cost for those particular part. Now obviously we can print the file, you can actually print all those data, you can actually capture it and put it in an Excel or in a paste it in Word, or even in a PowerPoint. You can actually do that. So presenting a pie and a bar graph is actually telling the distribution of values, data represented. So the numbers will no longer be presented as figures, but a certain picture will clearly elaborate how the distribution is being presented in a way that everybody will understand. You can actually put it there, print it the way you want to present it. Now for the second part will be the sort and filter. Sort and filter is actually very simple. You wanted to display the list of data from an alphabetical, meaning ascending or descending, for a particular numbers. Usually the same for letters. You can have an ascending from A to Z, or sort it from descending view from Z to A. The beauty of having this data sorting is very simple. Let's say you wanted to find out from the smallest to the biggest, and then you wanted to determine which one is the biggest from the smallest. So you don't need to worry no more, because sorting data is very useful and very helpful. Okay, so you can actually select an auto filter to determine which one I wanted to find out only. Let's say I only wanted to find out all the first name or the last name only of the clients, and the telephone number and the email address. That's all I want. So by selecting using an auto filter, this thing will be displayed, and then you don't need to worry about the rest of the data. You can simply want to see all the things that you only wanted. Not everything that you don't need to see will be there. So simply like, I don't want to see their name, I only want to see their numbers and their contacts and their sales. You can actually customize the filter using an and or conditions. I wanted, let's say, the highest and the lowest, the youngest and the oldest. Simply comparing things like that. Now for the particular reason, we can actually customize the number filters and then turn on. The last topic will be the first panes. First panes is something like you wanted the column to be stay put, and then the rest of the rows will go up, or the rest of the columns will go down, and then it will be steadily showing something like the rest. It doesn't need to be moved. Let's say the header, you want it to be stick together. You don't want to lose it. Something like it's a guide for you to determine, let's say, month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, or quarter 1, quarter 2. You don't want to lose that, so you could able to freeze that particular pane. So when you go down to the data, the header will still be out there. Okay? So, thank you for listening and watching the video. Hope you understand something. The importance of having a graph using defining a chart will be very simple. Presenting a data for a particular idea will be very much easier. And the rest of the sum of the topics will actually some of the add-ons that you can actually use. How to filter, pre-space will just a little bit. Understanding the chart will be more beneficial in your presentation in the near future. Hope to see you again on the next presentation. Again, goodbye and see you then.